is Nirja and welcome to Mahabharat Summaries. In the last video, we saw the story of Yayati, Devyani and Sharmishtha. And in today's video, I'll be telling you all the story of Yayati and his son Puru. So if you all have missed the last video, please find the link that will pop up right now and click on it to watch the video. So, as I mentioned in the last story, Yayati came back to his palace along with Devyani and Sharmishtha. So Devyani was his wife and Sharmishtha was Devyani's servant. So Yayati and Devyani started to live together happily, and Devyani had two sons. The eldest was Yadu and the second son was called as Turvasu. So while Devyani was living quite happily, Sharmishtha resented her happiness and her relationship with the king, and secretly she also wished to have a relationship with the king and bear his sons. Once when King Yayati was alone in the palace grounds, Sharmishtha managed to cunningly entice the king, and the king also, convinced by Sharmishtha, started to secretly have a relationship with her. From the king, Sharmishtha bore three sons. The eldest was called as Druyu, the second son was called as Anu, and the youngest son was called as Puru. So thus Yayati with Devyani and Sharmishtha had five sons, the eldest being Yadu and the youngest being Puru. So Devyani, while she knew that Sharmishtha had three sons, she did not know that they were fathered by none other than her own husband Yayati. Once while the boys were playing in the garden, Devyani noticed the three boys and they looked quite radiant and prince-like. So she went to the three boys and asked them who their father was. The boys pointed to Yayati and said that Yayati was their father and Sharmishtha was their mother. Devyani realized that Sharmishtha and Yayati had deceived her and she was quite heartbroken. And she went to her father Shukracharya and told him what Yayati had done. Shukracharya was quite angry at Yayati's betrayal, and he cursed Yayati that in his youth Yayati would have to face invincible old age and he would instantly become old and weak. Yayati was scared when he heard about the curse, and he went to Shukracharya and asked for mercy. Shukracharya reluctantly told the king that while he could not reverse the curse, if he wanted, Yayati could transfer his old age to somebody else. Yayati told Shukracharya that one of his sons would agree to take on Yayati's old age. So Yayati went back to the kingdom and he summoned his eldest son Yadu and asked him to take his old age and in return give Yayati his youth. Yayati told him that he would return Yadu's youth back to him after 1,000 years. Until then, Yadu can continue ruling the kingdom. Yadu politely declined his father's wishes and told him that he would not be able to give his father his youth. Similarly, the other three sons, Turvasu, Druyu and Anu, all of them declined their father's wishes. Then Yayati summoned his youngest son Puru and requested him to take his old age and give him Puru's youth. Unlike his brothers, Puru told Yayati that his father's wishes were his command and agreed to give Yayati his youth and take on Yayati's old age. Yayati was very much pleased with his son Puru and told him that Puru for the 1,000 years could continue to rule the kingdom as the king. So for 1,000 years Puru took on Yayati's old age, and Yayati became young using Puru's youth and continued to enjoy life. After 1,000 years he came back to Puru and gave him back his youth, and also announced that since Puru had agreed to his father's wishes, Puru would continue as the king and inherit his father's kingdom, and none of his older brothers, but Puru, the youngest of the 5 brothers, would become the king. Yayati and Puru in the story were the ancestors of the Kauravas and the Pandavas. This story of Yayati, Devyani, Sharmishtha and Puru has been woven into a very interesting play by a very famous writer called as Girish Karnad. I'll be reviewing this play very shortly. So please continue watching my channel for a few more stories from Mahabharat and some interesting book reviews. So please subscribe to the channel so that you'll get a notification every time a new video is put up, and I'll see you all soon. Till then, stay safe. Bye.